let's wait and see if we get anybody in here that's actually going to watch this. Oh, shit. Let's try to set this up. Wow, already got 2 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm gonna wait until a couple more people get in here before I start getting into this shit. I just spilt fucking beer all over the shit, but I can still read it, so it doesn't matter because I'm not gonna show you guys anyway. You know what I mean? All right. I'll wait until a few more people get in here. I don't know if anybody else is going to tune in, but I'm going to wait a few more minutes. Yes, for anybody that's joining, Mersh just kind of basically blew the lid off of it for us. Um, I don't know if you guys saw, but I kind of went into a sadistic glee there for a minute. I'm really sorry too, guys, if I have I got the Jovi Val set up tonight. I didn't think about this ahead of time. Otherwise, I would have set something up. I'm fucking streaming in a rainstorm from my car. But and my babies are asleep, so I know I'm gonna get loud and start yelling and shit. That's why I'm not in the house right now. All right, so 14. Who ruined who ruined you, Nimmer? Who fucking ruined you, Nimmer? Who did it? Who fucking did it? Who fucking did it? And everybody said that they wanted to do it, and they were doing shit, and they were getting everything, and they were gonna go, and they were gonna be the one who cracked it, and then nobody. I'm sorry, I don't mean to criticize the people that I like because I know that everybody was trying their damnedest, but you know who fucking got it? I fucking got it. I got I got the information, motherfuckers. All right. So anyway, now that I've gloated a little bit. All right. So anyway, for that person that was calling in Mersh's stream, if you're fucking in here, you think I'm fucking crazy that I'm gonna put my entire. First of all, forget about you. Forget about me putting my address on stuff and displaying it to all you guys right now. Um, can you fucking imagine? I don't even know Mersh that well. I think he's a good guy. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna like send me a box of shit or anything like that. But you know what I mean? I don't even know Mersh. I don't know. I don't know Porcelain. I don't know. I don't know them. They're great guys. I love that they're fucking helping me and doing everything that they can to help me. But you're fucking nuts if you think I'm gonna start sending out my full name and address to people I don't know, and then you think I'm gonna give my address to those to people like Mersh, and then Mersh is gonna put my address out and give it to everybody. No, you could know it's me. It's fine. But I'm sorry, but you're never ever gonna see. You're never ever going to see the unredacted name information. Period. You'll never ever see that. Um, at that point, if that's what you're fucking worried about, the fact that I took my name out of it, out of the document before I sent it to people, then you just don't want to believe. You're at the point where it doesn't matter because if my name was there, you would have said something else. All right. So anyway, so let's get into it. Okay. Uh, After I was with the folks in the that I don't want to start naming anybody. I don't want anybody to get mad at me. I don't know if I see a message that everybody says it's okay because you know what I'm talking about. But I was in a group that left the Bears. Then I kind of went my own way. Period, and I'll leave it at that. So anyway, when that happened, since I had so much time to myself now, where I wasn't like live streaming on mornings, I used to host the morning live streams of the 8 hours a day. So it's kind of like a job in between me, raising my kids. So, but it did something because when they were a lot smaller, then they slept a lot more. Anyway, so then that's when I started. Well, you know what? I'm going to see what it's going to take to do this on my own. So I looked at several websites that investigate claims of stolen valor, and they all have like a form that like a generic form that you fill out, and you know that's how I guess technically you're supposed to do it, or anybody else would have done it. What I did is I noticed that the Fake Warrior Project is also affiliated with they're run by the same people, by the POW network as well, because they especially like exposing claims of people that claim to be POWs, and the overflow goes to the Fake Warrior uh, project. So anyway, uh, that's who I ended up contacting. I noticed that they had the same person was running it. You could go and look this stuff up for yourself. There's no reason for me to say it. You could see probably pretty easily who I'm talking about. That the president is of those two are the same people. And I ended up getting her email address, and I just emailed her directly and asked her, how do I go about investigating a case of stolen valor? And she said, well, tell me what's going on. You know, who's the case? What information do you have on him? What claims were made? So I told her all of that stuff, and um, basically just waited a little bit. And in the meantime, we were talking, and just I was getting her familiar while she put in the request after I gave her enough information to be able to file it. So anyway, so she and I were talking, and then almost like I think about a day later, we got the preliminary back, which is not the definitive records. That's not what Mersh didn't show that part. Mersh didn't show the preliminary search results, but the preliminary search results were confusing as heck. I don't have them right in front of me. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. Maybe I'll do another live stream, or maybe you'll have to wait for Porcelain's documentary. Uh, if he put it in there. But anyway, the preliminaries were confusing as heck. So basically, they said that nothing is definitive though until we get the actual FIOA request. So that's what we waited for, and it was I gave everybody the dates. Porcelain, I'm horrible with dates. Or anybody that knows the dates that I told, you can post them uh, if you know it. But anyway, so it wasn't long after I think it was like under a month later, we got our first result from the Marines. They got back to us like almost instantly. The Marines got back almost instantaneously. So, Mersh read this on his show. I've got it in front of me, even though I spilt beer on it. Unfortunately, in my excitement getting in the car, but whatever. I can still read it. But this is what we got, and then I'll read it, and then I'll explain a little bit to you in detail. I'm not even really I'm glancing at the chat every once in a while, but I'm not really like reading. So anyway, the Marines got back to us almost immediately, and this is what they sent us. This responds to your August 7th. There you go. It's right here. It's right in fucking front of me. The dates are right here. August 7th. I remember now. It was the day before, the 6th, I think. The 6th or the 7th is when we made it. No, it was the 7th. It was the 7th. They received it immediately because it was filed electronically. But we didn't hear back from them until August 21st is when they got back to us. So like I said, it was not even a month later. So this responds to your August 7th Freedom of Information request for records about Eric Douglas Nimmer. We initiated a search of the files maintained by the Manpower Management Records and Performance Branch, MMRP, but could not locate a DD Form 214 certificate of release or discharge from active duty for Mr. Nimmer. However, MMRP personnel were able to verify that Mr. Nimmer entered the United States Marine Corps on August 2nd, 2010, and was disenrolled on July 8th, 2011. And then there's some jargon here. If you consider this to be an adverse determination, which is basically if you didn't like this response, you can file again. There's some jargon that basically says if you don't like this response, you can file it again, and maybe they would have been able to tell us Really nothing. There would have been nothing to gain. But basically, what we would have got back was this again. I went over this at nauseum. So anyway, basically it says you can file it again and we can look again, but you know, that's basically what it says in military jargon. So anyway, and once again, there's information there about how they can be contacted. So anyway, so that brings us to what exactly is disenrollment. So anyway, when we got this, I was talking with after I got the information about Nimmer back, the president of the Fake Warrior Project said that she had never ever heard of disenrollment before. She said she never ever heard of it. And she said to me, if I had the time, could I please maybe consider going down to my local Marine recruitment center and asking them a little bit more about disenrollment. So I told her, yeah, I could do that in my spare time. I'll have to go with my babies, you know, but I'm a stay-at-home dad and I take care of our farm here. But I told her, yeah, I would go. So I think it was the next day I went. And basically they didn't allow me to film anything. But at first they thought I was nuts because I'm walking into a Marine recruitment center with babies. They're like, are you a Marine? They didn't understand. And I had to explain to them and introduce them, and eventually they kept saying, you know, I got to get the next guy. I got to get the next guy, you know. Until eventually I got to, I guess, whoever the superior was that day. And they didn't want me to film anything. But they told me that disenrollment is extraordinarily rare. It hardly ever happens. If it's for physical reasons, they will try to do everything they can to try to push you through. They'll try to do everything they can if you failed for physical. The most likely scenario is that he was in some sort of academic program and failed. And anyway, first of all, let me read you just a little bit. I'll try to be quick and brief. If I pause, it's because I don't want to go too much, because I hate when I do that. So this is the Certificate of Understanding Reasons for Disenrollment. I certify that it has been thoroughly explained to me by a Marine Corps officer, selection officer, and I understand that after my acceptance as a candidate for commissioned grade in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve, and prior to my entrance on active duty, I may be disenrolled from this program and my officer candidate status terminated for any one of the following reasons: failure to maintain a cumulative average of C or higher. That's the A on the list. B, failure to maintain a C average for any academic term or semester. C, failure to carry an academic course load of 12 hours per semester or equivalent. D, failure to carry an academic load sufficient to permit completion of the requirements being pursued within the scheduled period. E, failure to obtain a degree or hours required for the program in which enrolled. F, and this one's got a couple subsections: failure to notify the Commandant of the Marine Corps of either a change in the major course being pursued, a change in college, course, or university attendance, a change in expected date of graduation, a change in mailing address, or any sufficient illness or injury requiring medical treatment. G, failure to reply to official correspondence. H, failure to notify the Commandant of the Marine Corps of any arrest or conviction, regardless of severity, occurring after my enrollment in an officer candidate program. I, failure to maintain the prescribed physical, academic, moral, or professional standards. And then it says, 2, I have been further informed that once my enlistment in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve has been approved, I may be discharged for immediately. All right, so there's basically saying if you do get discharged, these are your options. Okay? So this is what we're getting into now. Now we're getting into, so what happens when you are disenrolled? You will either be immediate enlistment or appointment to a commissioned grade in the armed forces of the United States. So in other words, they might stick you in another armed force to pay back your time that you owe them for your failed education. B, physical disqualification for active duty in an enlisted grade. Reasons of extreme hardship, expiration of obliged service for other good or sufficient reasons, which are specified and published by the Commandant of the Marine Corps. And 3, I understand that all communication between myself and the Commandant of the Marine Corps should be forwarded to my officer selection officer. That's actually how it's worded. I'm not like double taking on officer. That's actually what it says. So basically that's saying that basically, if you could see, read that, it's all academic stuff. But from actually talking, so for those people who are trying to say that maybe it was for something else that he got disenrolled, I went to the Marines. You know, I'm not a military guy. Do you know how scary it is going in there with a bunch of guys with crew cuts, in fatigues, and asking, how do I investigate somebody who's BSing you guys? You know what I mean? But I did it. I went there and I did it. And they were nice enough to explain to me that no, if it was physical or if you got sick, they would make an exception for that, and they would allow you to continue. Because also, if you were sick, then they probably wouldn't say, "Oh, we kicked you out because of the Marines because you were sick. Well, let's stick you in the National Guard now." How the fuck does that make sense? You mean to tell me that you're going to argue that Eric Nimmer got kicked out of the Marines because he was sick? That doesn't make sense either. The only fucking way, I'll give him this, all right? And this is purely hypothetical. Maybe in fucking training he took a fucking grenade to the face and that's why his teeth are all fucked up. That's the only other possibility. It's either that or either he got a fucking grenade to the face in basic, but still, once again, if he got a grenade to the face in basic, they wouldn't say, oh, "You got a grenade to the face? You're fucking out of the Marines, dude." You know what I mean? No, they would let him get better and they would let him come back and finish what he has to. But that's extenuating circumstances. The only thing that makes sense why they would do that. Exactly. Why no face scars if a thing went off in his face? It doesn't make any sense. You know, I was joking with the fucking grenade. Obviously, a fucking grenade didn't go off in his face because Owen was saying that he doesn't have any teeth because he got hit in the face with a fucking grenade, dude. No, he didn't. All right. I'm gonna move on because I could rant forever on that. So anyway, now I had it with somebody earlier today. I had an argument on Twitter. And they were saying, "Oh, well, why is the date on the stuff from the Guard so far after the other one?" Ask the Guard. We filed on August 7th. This came back November 29th. November 29th is when they finally got back to us. So I've been sitting on the Marine I sat on the Marine information until I got this, because the Stolen Valor, the Fake Warrior Project, asked me to not say anything until we got all our ducks in a row. So I waited, knowing that this slimy fuck was telling people that that he was a Marine, because that's his claim to fame. He doesn't really ever talk about anything else. He's mentioned it here and there that the guard are reserves, he said, but he doesn't really mention his service too much. So anyway, but he's still going and capitalizing on the claim that he was a Marine. So you have to understand how that was eating me alive. It was absolutely eating me alive that I had this information and I couldn't tell anybody. And then it all came to a head one day when I saw Eric Nimmer go on Steven Crowder. Now, I've turned my back on Crowder. At one time, I thought he had a little bit of a thing, I think, a bit when I first started watching him maybe a couple years ago. So I kind of respected the guy, and this is before all of this fallout and shilling and everything else happened. So I admired Steven Crowder, but I watched as Steven Crowder went and asked Nimmer about his military service, and he sat there with that stupid fucking grin on his face, saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I was a Marine," and all that bullshit. And it fucking, I reached a point where I had to find a way to reach Steven Crowder. I tried DMing every single Crowder related person to try to get in contact. Nobody got back to me. I tried calling CRTV. They were they said that they would record the information, but they would not put me in touch with Steven Crowder. Um, so I happen to know some very brilliant people, and somebody suggested, this is the neat part where it starts getting fucking hackery. Somebody suggested, well, first of all, no, let me backpedal. I got to backpedal because I forgot an important detail. Okay. So anyway, I was trying to get in contact with Crowder's crew. So a friend of mine noticed that I'm not going to dox where I found it, but we found Sound Guy Ed's phone number. So I called him and I left him a message. I said, I'm Chuck Boris. You don't know me, and I explained to him I've been working with the Fake Warrior Project. Yada yada so forth. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Please get in touch with me. So, um, the next day, I got a phone call, and was it a phone call that I got back from him, or was it an email? I can't remember. I probably it's actually probably an email. And if it was an email, porcelain, I'll get that to you. Um, once again, well, I guess that everybody knows who it is, but I'm gonna have to edit out. Once again, I'm gonna have to edit out Sound Guy Ed shit because I don't want to dox him. I thought the best bit Crowder ever did was the across 110th Street bit where Sound Guy Ed was a pimp. I thought that was hysterical because obviously I like musical comedy, so that's kind of why I got into them. Is I liked the musical bits. Um, so I like Sound Guy Ed, and I think he's a real nice guy. So anyway, um, no, actually I'm in a Jeep. I'm not in a Beetle. This is my Jeep. Let me see. Can I turn on the rest of the lights in here? It's my Jeep. Okay. So you're derailing the chat, Eric. Shut the fuck up. Okay, I'm trying to be serious here. Okay. So anyway, Sound Guy Ed, he gets back to me and he says that he is personally going to give the information to Steven and that they would get in touch with me. The very next day, I got an email from Sound Guy Ed saying I gave the information to Steven Crowder. And by the way, I'm leaving the show. And I had I think I emailed back and forth between him, and I think the last thing that he said is, I gave the information to them. It's in their hands now, and uh, I don't know what will become of Mr. Nimmer, but I believe you. And that was it. I didn't talk to Sound Guy again. Yeah, I don't know how to. I can't to wrench people. I'm on my phone. If a wrench wants to throw a wrench at Canna, he's allowed to be a wrench. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to get nuts with the wrenching, um, right now. Um, you guys pretty much know who should be wrenched. Please don't fuck around. Um, okay. So anyway, so I told them, and then again waited and waited. So then, now we're getting into another interesting part. So, didn't hear anything from Crowder, and I think in the meantime, Owen had been on Crowder another time and had mentioned Eric, and that's what sparked me. Motherfucker, you know. Now I know you know, Steven. I know you know. Don't play that shit with me. I know that you know. So anyway, I got a I got some really, really smart friends. And they suggested, wonder if we could guess people's email addresses at Steven Crowder. And that's actually what I have my degree in networking security and IT. That's actually what I have my degree in. I don't do anything with it because I absolutely fucking hate it. But we got the idea. Are they stupid enough to make their email addresses what we think that they are? They were. So I sent these documents to everybody in the Crowder crew. Every single one that I sent went through. Did not get one bounced back email once I'd figured out how it was structured. So anyway, go by maybe about 2 or 3 days. This is really, really fucking interesting. when I think back on it, because I think this is the first time I'm telling the full story of everything to everybody. Okay. So, go a couple days later. My wife is just home from work. I'm sitting with my babies in my lap, feeding them, and my phone starts ringing a restricted number, and I never ever get calls from restricted. And I know that they all had my phone number, so I said, you know what, I normally wouldn't pick up for a restricted number, but I pick up for every restricted number that I could possibly get after that. And I picked up the phone and I said hello. And he said, is this Charles Boris? I said, yes, it is. Who's this? He said, this is Darren. I said, Darren Crowder? He said, yes, it's Darren Crowder. So I said, hold on a second. I looked at my wife and I said, honey, you got to take the baby. I got to take this phone call. So, gave my wife the babies and walked outside and we started talking. He said, now what is this? He goes, tell me. He said, I want you to explain. This is as direct a quote as I can get. I want you to explain this to me like I'm a moron. Like I don't know anything about any military terms or anything about what you're talking about. And explain this to me. So I went over everything like just like we've been going over this stuff, just like Mersh has been going over this stuff. And Darren Crowder had said that at the end of it, after us talking for maybe about an hour, he had said that he does take this claim seriously and that they're big fans of Don Shipley, who hunts fake ass Navy SEALs. So, um, uh, he said he was a big fan of Don Shipley and its important work that the Fake Warrior Project does. So they said that obviously I have to understand that they don't know me. That could be anybody. I said I understand that. I said, but this is very important, and I don't want to spam you, and I wanted to get this message to you because it was important. So he had said to me that um, they want to independently verify the claims, and what I have looks absolutely legit. And if they find the same information that I found, they would distance themselves. And this is what Darren Crowder had to say about Eric Nimmer. Eric Nimmer is not a friend of Steven Crowder or the Steven Crowder crew. He's just a guy that is friends with Owen, and if they can bring the funny, that I'm trying to quote him as directly as I can. If he can bring the funny, that that they figured, sure, why not? But if it's true, they would distance themselves. Now I know it doesn't take very long for the Marines to get back, so I'm sure that they got back exactly what I got less than a month afterward. After less than a month, with a couple weeks, 14 days, about, I'm sure that they heard back from the Marines and verified exactly what I had to say to them. So they know. So let's keep going. I know that they have this information. The quality content at Steven Crowder's show is fucking tanking. And I sat on this, still having this information, until I got an email or a direct message from one of the group I used to host the live streams with, the morning live streams. Basically, if you guys want to know, I was fucking, for those of you who were like ROTC people, I was fucking basically Royce in the morning, but for 8 hours. And I normally didn't join in on the night streams too much because I was usually beat. But anyway, one of the crew got back to me, and they said, "No, I'm not crying. What it is, I don't like to go and stutter a lot. I'd rather pause and take my time and put my thoughts together, so you're not just watching me stutter." Yeah, I'm not exactly. No, I'm not Owen. Unless you want to hear me going in. Oh man, that's somebody's gonna clip that. That sounded wrong. All right, fuck it. Let's move on. I'm derailing my own fucking show. All right. So anyway, let's go back. I was talking with Darren Crowder. So after us talking about stolen valor and how it's important work that we do, Uh, Darren Crowder says to me, "Oh, so I heard you talking to your wife. You have kids." And I tell him, "Yeah, I have twins." He starts talking to me. We must have talked for about another hour about children and about, oh, I remember when when the Stephen was young, and yeah, I'm really hoping for grandkids one day. I can tell you something. Darren Crowder really, really, really wants grandkids, and I hope that someday he gets them. But he uh, he definitely definitely wants children, grandchildren. Yeah, it's so funny because Steven Crowder, when people bring it up, one time I remember somebody brought up having kids with Steven Crowder, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, they just seem so like sticky and gross," and it was just like, you know, I, I'm sorry, I'm a dad. I that instant loss of respect there when he said that. So anyway, that was my experience with the Crowders, and then everything was quiet for me for a while, and I just basically sat on my haunches waiting. What am I gonna fucking do next? What am I gonna fucking do next? So anyway, one of the crew, old crew, messaged me, said, "There's this guy Porcelain. He's putting together a documentary about Owen. Maybe you could help out." And that's what it was. So that's why I came back and I got involved with Porcelain to help clear some of this shit out. So uh, now I got to stop looking at the chat, guys, because it's fucking derailing my my train of thoughts. Can I shut this off so I can't see it? No, I don't want to press that because I'm not sure if that's gonna like actually hide the chat so you guys can't chat. So I'm not gonna fuck with it. Um. So anyway, learned about Porcelain. Started getting in touch with him, and I think one of the immediate things I had to tell Porcelain was about Eric Nimmer. I told him exactly what I have been telling you right now. Did exactly what I just went through is exactly what I told Porcelain. Porcelain's got some more documentation and some more of the detail, even more detailed information than what I'm giving you here. Porcelain's going to have in his documentary about how this whole thing comes together in the story of Owen Benjamin. So that's why you got to go sub Porcelain. You got to see this documentary. I watched his other stuff and it's great. I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know any of the people that that Porcelain did so far, but it taught me about those people and who they are. So now I do know who they are. So I have a personal investment in this documentary. So anyway, let's fast forward a little bit further. Now Porcelain's working on this documentary. So now Steven Crowder goes on hiatus. His fibromyalgia cells are building up in his spilling out or whatever however the hell. So he has to take off, and he goes and in the meantime, we've been watching Owen, and he's mentioned casually, yeah. I'm still working with Crowder. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know that if you look, well, who knows? Owen sometimes deletes the streams. Who the fuck knows? But I know that he said before in the interim that um he has said in the interim that he still plans on working with Steven Crowder. That all comes to a head on the night when it was revealed that Steven Crowder had basically officially let Owen go. Now, yes, Owen's crazy. And yes, Owen's been doing some really stupid shit and accusing people who didn't do anything of shit that they didn't do. And outright fabricating some stuff, I don't know. But nobody I know ever intended to harm anybody physically. Period. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. I made that parody video of Eric Nimmer because I was getting sick of his shit. Made a parody video of Steven Crowder because now I've personally got shit against him. So now you guys kind of, I guess, know a little bit more about what I have been doing in the meantime. So all these fuckers were saying shit to me like I'm lying, I don't have anything. I would just share the screenshots, you know. I didn't do that before because if I had done it, you'd be doing exactly what you're doing now. You would be saying that I was a fucking liar, but I was nobody then. I was nobody then, was I? So what would it have done? I would have known I was the truth, that it was the truth, but everybody would have said I was a fucking liar. So I finally got a way to get this fucking information out. And I have to say that Mersh breaking that shit on Nightwave, go sub Nightwave, was the most fucking amazing shit that I have ever felt like I was a part of when it came to doing any kind of streaming in line. To be able to watch that and say in the chat, because I'm sure, I know that bears are watching, I know that that some of you Nimmer dick suckers were in there. I know that you saw that shit. It was fucking me. Fuck you all. I'm telling the truth, I'm right, and I'm not embarrassed. I always was Chuck Boris. I never ever hid under a, and I'm not accusing anybody or talking down to anybody that I understand why people sometimes don't want to put their names out there. You got these fucking psychos that want to fucking dox you and accuse you of shit that you didn't do. But I've always been Chuck Boris, all right? I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of Eric Nimmer. I know that I'm fucking right. I wouldn't have done all this and gone through all this shit if I didn't think that what I was doing was right. And that's all that I've ever done when it came to the initial fallout, why we didn't like Nimmer in the first place, because he was making people uncomfortable. Honestly, I'm not the best person for that information, but I just know that I know one case definitely happened. I hear that there's others, but I really don't fucking know about that. But I'll tell you what I do know about. I know fucking everything about Eric Nimmer's military career. I know fucking everything that you could possibly want to know. I know any pertinent detail that you would want to know. And Eric Nimmer's fucking nobody. He never graduated from boot camp, so he was never ever a Marine. So his option was pay back by joining the National Guard. It basically says in that form, it's mandatory. They put him in the Guard. He fucking goes there and he fucking scrubs toilets on weekends. You know? That's what he does. Even if he was fucking deployed in the... Did I totally skip over reading the correspondence from the National Guard? I think I fucking did. I fucking pulled a Mersh when he was like, but wait, there's more. Here we go. There's fucking more. I waited all that time until November. And this is what I got from the Army. For those of you who don't know, the National Guard is under the Army. Everything about them is basically the Army training, except they do it on the weekends. But it's, you know, and no, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who served in any military. I don't want to get into you're just weekend warriors. I'm not talking about people who actually are doing it and helping and actually, you know, joining an armed service. I'm talking about one specific guy who's only that, but not even to a degree where he has anything to brag about. His claims to fame aren't that he was scrubbing toilets at the fucking barracks on weekends. His claim to fame is that I was a Marine, right? His claim to fame is that he's this Marine that was a sniper. He got all these kills, right? Anyway, here's the correspondence from the Army. This is in response to your request for military personnel files pertaining to Mr. Eric D. Nimmer Jr. Your request was processed under the provisions of the Freedom of Information and Privacy Acts. I got a couple people today on my Twitter that said, I don't think that's how you get, I don't think the FIOA is how you get military records. Fuck you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't even fucking know. And that's why I keep telling people you want to do it yourself. You want to do it yourself, go ahead, go ahead, you can pay out of pocket. I was lucky enough to be able to go and get involved with a group who was actually able to do that part of it for me. Go make donations to fakewarriorproject.org. Make donations. All right. So let's continue. The requested records pertaining to Mr. Eric D. Nimmer Jr. were not located at the Army Military Human Resources Record, which is maintained within the Interactive Personal Electronic Records Management System database. An additional search was also conducted. So they said, "Oh, we looked this one place, we didn't really find anything on Eric Nimmer." Interesting. Interesting that you went and you looked up on something on Eric Nimmer and, hey, you know what? We didn't find anything. It was really, really strange. So we did another search. Additional search was also constructed at the National Personnel Records Center in St. Louis, Missouri, with negative results. Please note that because a no records determination may be considered adverse, you may appeal this determination using procedures described below. So basically, once again, they're telling me, if you don't like hearing that we didn't find anything on Eric Nimmer, you can ask us again, and we can look again. You can pay again, but you're going to get the same information. All right. Let's continue. However, it has been determined that Mr. Eric D. Nimmer has a basic pay entry date of the 26th of June, 2013, with the current rank of specialist and a date and rank of 5th of August, 2013. No other information is available at this time. And then there's information how, other personal information. So, what are they saying? They're saying that we looked at Eric Nimmer and there's nothing on him. If he did anything in the National Guard, even if he was deployed anywhere, if he fucking got deployed to fucking build the wall, they would say we saw that he helped, you know what I fucking mean? It would say something. Something would have fucking came back. It would have said, if he went any fucking anywhere, if he did anything in the Guard, it would have said, yeah, he fucking, and he went and, he was deployed over here. He was on a cleanup job on the fucking hurricane. Fucking nothing came back. The only thing that they have is, well, yeah, we could tell that he's in here. And also the thing is the one notable thing. Remember how we went back to this is where you got to start putting puzzle pieces together in the rules for disenrollment. Remember it says things that will happen once you get disenrolled. It says immediate enlistment or immediate enlistment or appointment to a commissioned grade in the armed forces of the United States. They basically said we're gonna give you something to fucking do. Now I don't know what happened and why there's a gap of several years in between when he was disenrolled and joined the National Guard. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing in the meantime. Jerking off, pretending he was a comedian. scamming people, saying that he was a Marine, maybe? Maybe that's what he was doing in the meantime? Anyway. So, they said that they're going to appoint him to a commissioned grade. He went in on, let me see, where is it? June 26th of 2013. And in August, he ascended from basic pay rank up to specialist, which is, specialist, by the way, most common rank in the Guard. A specialist is nothing special. Specialist is just it's just a regular dude, basically. I'm not that big on the military terms. I'm one of those guys that I know what I saw and I could look up all that crap if I needed to, but I can't keep all that in my head. I just know what I saw, and that's why I keep shit printed out every fucking where, and I keep every single fucking piece of paper that I ever fucking print out. But he was able to ascend ranks fairly quickly, The only explanation I have for that is probably because he probably did do some basic training in the Marines, and I guess that counts for something. But he never graduated, so he was never a Marine. He was never a Marine. Yeah, he went there and he fucking sucked, and they said, "Look, you're so bad, you got to get out and go do something else." That's what happened. So that's what happened. So they probably put him in there, and they were probably basically had to do some preliminary shit, and we're like, okay, you can be this rank, So he's just in there grinding his way back until basically he pays back the money that they wasted on his failed education. So that's about all I got on that. I mean, there's always more. That's the thing, you guys. There's always more. This thing is such a rabbit hole, and I feel so bad for Porcelain because he's fucking being exposed to this shit for the first time. We've collected this. The people with the Owen stuff, me with the Nimmer stuff. We've been collecting this stuff over all this time, and it's all just being fucking unloaded on Porcelain all at once. And he's the one, unfortunately, that's got to sit there and pick through it and be like, we got to explain to him timelines and all this shit. So that's what I've been doing in the meantime, guys. And you know what? I started doing the parodies. That's a separate thing. I started doing political parodies because I thought it was a good idea. And if you see like the first few, I mean, some of them are just, they get better and better as you can see as they go along. Whereas now I'm kind of producing the out and out, the best quality content that I can make with what I fucking have. So it was fun to be able to call out Crowder. And it was fun to be able to call out Nimmer. And I think that I'm going to start doing that a lot more because, I've been doing serious music on my for a while and doing covers, and fucking got nowhere. But, I learned about you guys and started doing the parodies and stuff, and it's probably one of the best positive reactions I've ever gotten. So thank you all for that. Thank you to every new sub. I don't usually live stream. I used to have the whole setup with the fucking mics and everything, and I just didn't have a reason to start doing it again. Maybe I do now. Who knows? We'll see. And also, everybody that's been helping me. Some people, I don't want to give out their names. If you want to call yourselves out, go ahead. But I also got the people who have YouTube channels. Sammy. What's up to Sammy? Nightwave, Daywave. I haven't really talked to Royce as much, but I'm sure he's a good dude. I've sent him a couple messages before that he saw. Uh, ROTC, uh, Count Cucula, Cucula. Oh my God, what the fuck am I? Count Cucula. Fucking uh, was introduced to him for the first time the other day. Fucking amazing, hysterical shit. It reminded me of Tales of the Crypt and all that stuff, but in a way that it's if I had, I'm so fucking jealous of that idea, and I'll say it. I say it because I love it, and that's why I'm gonna promote what Count Cucula does, because his show is fucking phenomenal. It is fucking hysterical. I loved everything, even like the drinking the soda that he was like sponsoring and going on the fucking like acid trip. It's fucking hysterical. That is every little detail about that is so fucking great. But I know everybody's been uh really getting chummy with Cucula lately, but it's honestly because it's fucking amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna start paying attention to the chat a little bit more. Uh, and everybody else, I'm sorry if I forgot anybody else. There's so many people. Um, I saw what you said, and I'm not gonna say your name because I already honked the horn for you. I already honked the horn for you. All right. And I realized right after I did it that was a horrible idea because my wife and kids are sleeping in the house right fucking next to me, you moron. So I'm not putting up with any more of your shit. All right. Let's pay attention to the chat. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask? Is there, first of all, forget the goofy shit. Are there still people in here that were skeptical and believe that I'm lying? You really is there anybody in here that honestly still thinks that this is all bullshit and that I'm putting this all out there? Why? You guys know my name. I've never tried to hide myself for who I was. But I'm sure as hell not going to give you my address for the person who said that. And I don't think that anybody in their right mind would think that I would fucking have done all this if just for a fucking gag. The parodies are one thing. This is fucking serious, and this is something that really, to be honest, I'm so glad that this is out because this has been a weight on me. And now I don't have anything to hide anymore. Everybody knows. Everybody knows, and it's so glad to have that. So people are going to want to know, and people are going to ask questions for a long time, and that's fine. But I'm glad that I can finally move on, because you have to understand, this is for everybody else to know, because everybody getting this. Oh, all right, Gary, Guitar Gary, excellent fucking guitarist. If anybody's seen my covers, and a couple of them I did, like a little bit of guitar overdubs and stuff. Well, some people were nice enough to say to me that they loved my guitar playing. As good of a guitar player and as nice as the comments were, I'm shit compared to Gary. Gary's a excellent fucking guitar player. I've been surrounded by people this whole time that have just been amazing. And you know what? I can't get into it because I'll pull an Owen. I will pull an Owen if I start getting into everybody that's helped me through all this. So that's why I want to move on and just want to kind of change the subject. You know that you're out there, and I love all you guys for everything that you've done this whole time. Not to get fucking mushy. Anyway, so I didn't see anybody say anything in the chat that said that they didn't believe me or thought that I was making it up. So does anybody else have anything they want to know? Now I'm paying attention. First, I wanted to see if there were any doubters. What's my favorite band? I I like a lot of music. Pink Floyd is actually probably one of my favorites. Um, Pink Floyd, I really like. I like stuff that's all over the place. Basically, 70s rock. If it's 70s rock, I probably like it in one. What's my IQ? Just slightly above average. I took an IQ test. Who fucking knows in high school? Who fucking knows? What album, Gary? Are you asking me what? I don't judge if you don't like Pink Floyd. That's fine. You don't have to unsub. But honestly, I like some of the probably more off the different stuff than you would expect by Pink Floyd. I really like the album Animals. I really like um, Metal. Yeah, I really like Metal. Echoes is one of my favorite songs. I think Echoes is the first song that I learned the guitar lead note for note from. Yeah, but I don't know what my IQ is. I remember it being like average, maybe slightly above. Nothing to brag. Nothing that I would brag about. I can't even fucking remember. I don't even know the exact number. No, I don't listen to Ghost. If you want some more alternative stuff, I really like stuff like John Spencer Blues Explosion. I really like I really like Ween. Ween is one of my favorite bands, and I know that a lot of people cringe, but I got awfully close to those guys at one point when I was doing music. They didn't really know me, but I went to I used to go to John and Peters in New Hope and see their guitarist Mickey Dean Ween. I used to see him play all the time. And I bought him a beer, I think twice. The first time I went to go see a guy named Chris Harford, who I did get very close to, who was friends with Ween, and we had a falling out. But yep, Diener. The first time I met Diener was in Princeton. He was standing outside smoking a cigarette with nobody around, and I had just pulled up to go see the show, Chris Harford, and he was filling in for guitar on him that night. And I walked up to him and I said, you're Mickey, you're Dean Ween," and I shook his hand and he said, "Yep," and I was like, "Wow, this is strange. Of all places I ever thought I'd meet you, it wasn't here." And he was cool and everything, and I've seen him since then at John and Peters and stuff like that. But mutilated lips give a kiss on the wrist of the worm-like tips of tentacles expanding in my mind. I'm fine, accepting only fresh brine. You could get another drop of this, yeah, you wish. Mutilated lips. I'm not gonna do it. All right, go check out Ween. They got some. If you like weird stuff, you'll probably if you go and check out some Ween shit, you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from. With my weird musical tastes. Hey, EXE Cutie, you realize that you're probably like my friend. You're my one of my best friends now because you actually knew who Ween was, and you did not just know them. You like them. But so I went off on a tangent there. Wayne actually has some this is what you do. All right. If anybody does want to check out Ween, very quick, start with the album White Pepper. White Pepper is my favorite album. If you want weirder stuff than White Pepper, listen to Chocolate and Cheese. If you want something that's White Pepper Part 2, listen to like Quebec, and then branch out from there. Yeah, I know how to look at. I have covers of Ween songs on my thing. Yeah. Oh, I love the Beatles. I actually do love the Beatles. I know that that's something that people. The Beatles, but I really like the Beatles. One '90s music. It's I know songs here and there, but I'm not really a big fan of any one specific band in the '90s. I mean, there's stuff that I like, but like I said, I'm a '70s rock guy. Yeah, the Beatles were satanic degenerates. I don't like them as people, but I personally know the dudes in Ween. Gene Ween, his daughter now identifies as a man, and I fucking had a fallout with him, her, fucking it, because I called them out on it, and they sent me a message, "Who the fuck are you?" And shit like that. So I had my falling out with that crowd. I still like their music, still like Ween. If you want to start choosing music on that stuff, then you're not going to end up listening to anything. The only thing that I won't listen to is outright you know like Satan metal shit. That's I'm just not into it. Not my thing. What do I think of David Gilmour as a solo artist? He's okay. Not a big fan. Don't like Pink Floyd after Roger Waters left. Complete garbage. That's my honest opinion. And I love the stuff with Roger Waters as much as I love. Um, yeah, David Gilmour as a solo artist is okay. I don't like Pink Floyd after Roger Waters at all. I just don't. I tried. I tried and I tried and I tried and I just don't. But Queen, I play. If we had that conversation, I play a Brian May Red Special. That's my axe. So yeah, but you guys are asking me questions about like music and stuff. I mean, that's for another stream. This is the Nimmer stuff. You guys satisfied with what I had to tell you tonight? That's what I gotta know. So anything, any other details anybody can think of that they possibly would want me to try to clarify? I'm not taking my pants off. I'm married. Don't have any questions. Okay. Yeah, what about, yep, Nim has sex with trannies. Yes, I did. I did. I took all of my I took all of my clothes off for um his LinkedIn came down pretty soon after I uh mentioned it to Crowder. Pretty soon after that, I think is when rumors probably started to circulate after the Crowders got involved. Wait, did I see somebody? Oh, John Smith. Yes, John Smith. I knew. I thought I saw that comment. No. You see, everybody keeps like saying, "Will you clean your room yet?" What do you want me to do? You want me to like fucking smash the dishes in there? Like, they're good dishes. I just don't want to. You know, do you want to buy that headboard for me? You could buy that headboard. I'll sell you that. I'll give you that plant. But most of the stuff in there is my music stuff. You just can't see it because it's lower than the camera. But you're starving after this. Let me just kind of scroll up and see. But yes, his LinkedIn after uh I called Crowder, Nimmer's stuff started to absolutely tank. No, they have not tried to contact me. The Crowder crew has not tried to contact me since. I'm kind of thinking that I want to send Sound Guy Ed another email and see what's going on in his life because I'm sure he wouldn't mind because I don't spam him. I try not to do that to people. For people that are like just getting to know me, like people like Mersh, I've been fucking sending you message after message after message. It's only because this shit is going on. Once I don't have anything to fucking say, I'll still be there, but I probably won't talk to you unless I think I have something important to say or if I do a new parody or some shit like that. That'd be awesome to get sound guy Ed in the chats. That would be fucking awesome. Cause I like sound guy Ed. He seemed like a really decent fella. You know that's but also the thing with Nimmer is that really ever since the initial fallout is when he stopped talking about the he stopped volunteering a lot of the information about himself in the military. Once everything started to once everything started to come apart, he left it to people to ask him about it. So those clips that Marsh played of like Nimmer actually admitting stuff and hinting that he was a Marine or outright saying it, those are far and few in between. They're probably non existent now. When we, well, I did a lot of that clipping. There might have been a few that I didn't clip, but I think most of what Mersh played is stuff that I clipped. That represents hours of coming through. I know that there were people that helped me with timestamps, definitely. There was definitely people that helped me find timestamps for that stuff, but I'm actually the one that clipped it up. That represents hours of me or other people watching and doing timestamps, and then additional hours of me cutting up and sending condensed. That's why those some of those videos that Merge played were like 9 minutes. 9 minutes of purely just the purest snippets I could find of Nimmer's bullshit. And that's not even everything when it comes to the in the grand scale of the Owen stuff. But wait, so I saw something asked something a little bit. If you want to talk music here in the Discord, okay, yeah, you said that to me once before, and I know I'm not trying to be flippant. I always try to be very humble, but it's 1:30 in the morning, and I do go to church, guys, so I do got to get to sleep at some point because I got to be up, and I haven't slept for like 2 days because I've been up with you guys with this shit. I probably won't be able to sleep tonight, but I at least got to like try to wind down. But I definitely will talk music gear stuff with you at some point. Um, he enrolled in 2013 in the guard, and as far as I can tell, he's still in the guard. I think he's probably mentioned it since then that he's still in the reserves or something. So you can rest when you're dead. That's probably true. I know. I appreciate the advice and people saying yo, go to sleep. It's probably not going to happen, because I used to having when I used to get really in stuff when I was younger. I used to have a problem with insomnia because I would obsess over ideas. And that's when I was first learning guitar and stuff. So a lot of it revolved around me playing guitar. But then as I got older, you get tired. I'm 33. I'm going to be 34 this year. But, you just get tired. But now that it's like, no, it's too important right now to not fucking know like every little thing that's fucking going on. Um, Amethyst. It's been, God bless you. It's been forever. Thank you so much. I if you like my stuff, I appreciate it. But the parodies I'm doing for fun, and I'm glad if you like them. But really, I'm not trying to suck up to anyone really with these parodies. I'm really excited and glad that people like them. But this Nimmer thing is an entirely different different thing. And Amethyst, you got to know that you're part of the reason why I did all this and why I've been doing all this work this whole time. For you guys and everybody that knew. Everybody that knew. And everybody that believed me. Oh yeah, hell yeah, it's a weight lifted off. Fuck yeah. I like donuts too, Gary. I like donuts too. All right, well, I'm probably gonna shut this down. Uh, we could talk some more. Sears said he's doing a hangout where I might be around in the discords. Hit me up. Uh, Hopefully soon I'll be launching my own Discord, and who knows, that could be fun. I feel like everybody's got a Discord this thing, so these days, so it seemed like the natural progression of ideas. Awesome. I definitely will do that. I don't want to say it because I'm probably Pie Chris. Is that how you say it? Because I don't want to say it wrong. I'm really trying to. Night, Gary. I'll see you. It's 1:30 in the morning here, so it's getting late. Gotti. Everybody was saying Getty because everybody was trying to do the Scottish accent and everybody was going Getty, Getty. No, it's not Getty. There's no E there. It's an A. It's Gotti. Like Apple. Gotti. Even I'm still saying it fucked up. I know, Gary, but at least I'm trying. I'm closer than everybody else. Gotti. Not Getty. Getty. It's not Getty. And two R's. Two R's, mofo. All right. So anyway, all right. So I guess I'm getting out of here. Um, I'll be around. Everybody, thanks so much. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun with everybody today. So, oh, there's a lot of people. I guarantee if I go right now to my Twitter, I probably lost hundreds of people. It's been steadily going down, but I think I was up to like 1,700 subs, and it's slowly been dropping, and now I'm down to almost 1,000. So I've lost like legitimately like 800 subs over the Nimmer and Bear stuff. It's crazy. All right. So anyway, night everybody. God bless everybody. I'll be around, and hopefully we can have do this once again. And Monday, I'll be right back at on the parody wagon. I got another Crowder one. I got so many. I have too many ideas right now, and not enough time to do them. Where it's like everybody's got to slow down and give me a break. I've got too many good ideas that I have to work on before I even consider doing anything else. Uh, this is what I will consider doing. The music videos take a lot of time. For those, it's got to be my choice. If you, maybe I will consider once I launch my Discord doing strictly parody songs. I'll shoot you an MP3 because I could do those fairly quickly. And be into doing that. But I can't be doing music videos for every parody song. I've got to find a way to separate the two. Because right now the music videos are a vehicle for that, for the song, for those specific songs. They're the ones that I really like. So it's going to get tedious if I have to do a music video for every single song. So anyway, good night. I'll talk to y'all later. I don't want to pull an O and be, all right, I'm out. And by the way, I'm Big Bear. All right, I'm getting out. Good night, everybody, and God bless. I'll see you all around. God bless everybody.